Well, this week we've got a really great episode, and I'm really excited. We're going to be joining our friend Jacob Willcox in his home studio and taking a look at how we bend glass for neon signs. Jacob is actually a longtime Alchemy participant and supporter who was with us on our very first day when we opened 7 years ago, and it's just been awesome to work with him ever since on a variety of projects. He's a rad skater, he's become an incredible skate coach, helping us at many of our skate camps, and he's a pretty amazing glass artist who came up working with the Hilltop artists. So we're gonna take a look at his home studio, bend some glass, and we're gonna make a sweet neon sign for the shop. So let's take a look. Thanks again for having us here at the home studio, man. This space is awesome. It looks like you got little bits of everything you need. How did you go about building this space out?
So this last semester I was a student at Alfred University in New York, and they have this grant called the Apex grant for students looking to further themselves professionally and do community outreach type stuff. So I had the idea of building a mobile neon studio, the little bending stations that I could take virtually anywhere, so building this on wheels so I could take it to public events like Art on the Ave and car shows and all of that stuff, to where I could show some people the actual steps that go into making neon, because it is something that is completely handmade 100%, can't be made by any machine, so it's a very craft that's not really seen very much.
So that's what we're doing today. I'm really excited that you reached out about making some neon for the shop. The Alchemy piece you did turned out just amazing, and so today we're doing our little grindhouse sign. What is the first sort of step in the process for moving forward?
You always want to make a pattern or template, otherwise you can't replicate it if anything goes wrong along the process. And it's also very similar to printmaking, so you want to do your design and then you want to flip it, because you're going to have to work it from behind, because there's always going to be networkings behind neon signs of things that you cannot physically bend. You have to come back on the back side and drop it back down. So you want to flip it so that once the sign comes off the table, it reads correctly and it's not backwards.
So this mouthpiece, this is where we're physically going to insert that, and I'm going to use my breath to move air to allow the glass to bend.
Correct. So there's this blow hose right here that you hook up to the end of a pipe.
Okay.
And then you grab one of these silicone corks and you shove it in the end, so you now have a closed off chamber, and then you'll insert the mouthpiece.
Okay, so I'll hold the rod and keep this in my mouth and blow into it as I'm heating the glass. Well, I gotta say, that was both very fun and a little bit terrifying, holding these materials over open flames. Definitely felt a little bit of the pressure not to mess it up. So I think it's a natural spot now to turn it over to a master, and we'll take a look as we put together the rest of this grindhouse sign.
Yeah, I wouldn't say a master, but I will try my best.
So you got all of our pieces bent, and we've got 3 sections, and now you went ahead and filed them all down, and so we're gonna just connect all of the separate pieces together?
Yep.
Sweet.
Look more on par with what you were thinking.
Dude, that is perfect. Just slightly offset. Yeah, 100%. We finished blowing our first shape and got it done. What needs to happen before we can plug it in?
So after you make the tube, you stick these little electrodes on there the same way that we welded everything else together. And then you take it to your good friend Galen Turner's. Shout out Galen. Take it over to his studio, and he hooks it up to what's called a manifold, and you weld it on, just how we welded all these, onto a glass manifold that has a vacuum pump hooked up to it with high voltage leads to it. And then what you do is you essentially pull a vacuum, and through electricity and heat you scrub out all the impurities inside of the glass so that there's a clean atmosphere on the inside, so that when you hook this up, it creates an arc of electricity through two electrodes, and the electricity excites the gas that's filled inside. And with glass tubes, you can fill it with any of the noble gases on the periodic table. So that's neon, helium, krypton, xenon, radon.
And so basically this is pressurized and filled with that gas, and then the electric current as it goes from end to end activates it, and that's what lights up.
Correct.
Crazy. All right, so this guy's been pumped with gas. It's now got electric going to it, and conceivably if we turn this switch on, we have neon.
Yep. Boom.
Oh yeah. Well, I gotta say, this has been super fun. From getting to blow some glass to seeing our sign get made. Thank you once again for hosting us and sharing all this stuff. Next up for us is we've got these wonderful little clips here, and so we're gonna take the finished glass back to the shop and using some plywood, cut some templates, paint our signs, mount it up, and see how it looks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait to see the finished product, and I can't thank you enough for doing this. It's really awesome what you got going here.